The ROG Ally just came out about a week ago now, and I wanted to give you guys some important things to consider before you buy one. Well, if you decide to buy one. Let's talk about it. What is up, guys? My name is Tyler, and today I'm going to give you 10 things that you should consider before you buy an ROG Ally, or better yet, 10 things you should know before you buy an ROG Ally. Right off the bat, though, the price. The ROG Ally at the time of writing this is about $700 and is only available, by the way, from the Asus eShop and Best Buy. Now, that's quite a bit more expensive than the base Steam Deck, which we can assume is going to be the other choice if you're looking to get into the handheld market. However, the 512GB Steam Deck still sells for $650 with no other upgrades, and when you consider that the Ally only comes with 512GB of storage for $50 more, it does have several upgrades over the Steam Deck. 1080p display, 120Hz refresh rate, and a much more powerful chip, just to name a few. So keep that in mind when looking at both these devices. The next thing is super important. The ROG Ally is not a console like the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox Series X, or the PlayStation 5. Heck, even the Steam Deck is closer to being a console. No, the Ally is a straight up PC. This means that as soon as you unbox it, you'll have to plug it in, run through Windows setup, and even perform a critical BIOS update plus Windows updates before you even get started. And that's a lot. That'll probably be a major turnoff to some people looking for a great out-of-box experience. That being said, just be prepared to sit through some long setup processes and double check everything is up to date before downloading any games. The Ally definitely requires some technical knowledge, so don't buy this for your 10-year-old thinking it's similar to a Nintendo Switch, because boy, you'll be in for a long night, or maybe even multiple nights, of troubleshooting and fixing your kid's new toy. Despite the update and setup process being a bit of a pain, the Ally does support Windows Hello in the form of a fingerprint reader on the top power button, making locking and unlocking your device a bit more secure, so I guess having Windows on your handheld isn't that bad. Granted, you care about security on a device you mainly plan to play games on, but hey, maybe you'll be logging into other apps like Discord or Google or whatever else that you'll want protected. In any case, Windows does come with some benefits there. While we're talking about the top of the Ally, let's talk about the SD card slot. Yep, you can expand your Ally's 512GB of internal storage with an SD card of your choice, up to a UHS 2 class SD card, micro SD card, which, might I add, I don't think I've ever seen a UHS 2 micro SD card, but supposedly it supports it. I actually opted for a Samsung 512GB micro SD card. You can even toss in a 1TB SD card should you like to. So definitely make sure to take advantage of that, because with the size of modern games today, you'll be running out of internal storage after installing like 3 to 4 games. So probably good to have one. Right next to the SD card slot is this funky looking port that's sort of nested alongside the USB-C port. That is Asus's proprietary PCI Express slot for the eGPUs or external graphics cards. Yes, you can totally hook up a full-size, albeit a mobile, RTX 4090 to your Ally and play as though you were on a gaming laptop, 3 times the price. Now, you'll need Asus's XG mobile enclosure, but the fact that the Ally can do that is something that the Steam Deck can't do, and quite frankly, probably needs to. So, nice to see Asus include this feature, as it's also included on their Flow series laptops, in case you wanted to know that. It'll cost you another $1,500 to $2,000, but hey, maybe you're a docking kind of gamer who likes to game on the go and then dock their device at home and use it like a desktop. Speaking of desktops, it goes without saying, but yes, the Ally runs Windows 11. Not some watered down version built for handhelds, Windows RT, but true Windows 11. You can even sign into your Microsoft account and sync across your desktop as if you had just bought a new laptop. This also means you can download anything you want, install what you want, and most importantly, play what you want. So, you want to download emulators? Go for it. Epic Store? Go for it. Bethesda Launcher? I don't even know if that thing exists anymore. Go for it. Blizzard? Absolutely. Unlike the Steam Deck, you're not limited to just your Steam library. You can actually play all your games, and even though you have to deal with Windows, it's a fair trade-off in my opinion, because I mean, who wouldn't want to lay in bed and play Diablo 4 until 4 a.m.? Exactly. Moving on to some of the unique things about the Ally you'll want to know, the Ally does have 2 fans on it as opposed to 1, like most handhelds, on either side. They also have this super cool zero gravity cooling solution, which consists of water vapor trapped inside copper pipes that helps keep the Ally cool. And to be completely honest, it works pretty well, especially given it also has 2 exhaust vents similar to that of a gaming laptop. Not only that, but the fans even have filters, so you can clean them, even though you won't. And while I don't recommend taking yours apart unless you know what you're doing, again, remember when I said that this is a device that requires a bit of technical knowledge? Yeah, you can remove the back cover pretty easily with these 6 screws to gain access to the bright red motherboard and, of course, your fans and their filters. Cool. Get it? The next unique thing that you probably didn't know is that the Ally runs its own version of ASUS's Armoury Crate called Armoury Crate SE. It's basically the same as the Armoury Crate software you may have used on your desktop, assuming you have an Asus motherboard, but is more tuned for handhelds. In here, you'll see all your games, your launchers, settings for your buttons and control layouts, and more. You can also access performance settings in here as well to squeeze every last ounce of power out of the Ally while for some reason attempting to play Star Citizen on it. Stay tuned for that one. And yeah, it does run crazy, I know. Speaking of Armoury Crate SE, you also get this button on the left side of the screen that pulls up these little controls. These are basically shortcuts to all the important things on your Ally, but they're accessible on screen at any time, even when in games. So, want to turn the resolution down from 1080p to 720p? Boom, one button. 120 Hz to 60 Hz? Boom, one button. It even includes some of AMD's super cool tech like super resolution and image sharpening, both of which can drastically improve your gaming experience on the Ally. But if you'd like to learn more about setting your Ally up to game at its best, make sure to subscribe because I plan on putting together some videos showing various games on the Ally and what settings I think are best. Finally, the last thing you'll want to know about the Ally is that not all USB-C chargers will charge the Ally correctly. The charger included in the box is a whopping 65-watt charger and will charge the Ally from single-digit percentages up to full in like an hour flat, which is crazy. However, try plugging the Ally into a lower wattage charger and, well, you either won't get a charge at all or you'll have to make sure you're not using it while it charges, otherwise you'll spend the energy before it even gets a chance to get stored. While I don't have a list or know exactly which chargers will and won't work, I highly recommend sticking to the one in the box or the optional accessory charger Asus sells until we know more. This will also protect your Ally from any battery damage or issues in the long run. That being said, battery is a big topic for the Ally, and a lot of you have been asking about battery, and I am working on that as well. But for now, what I can tell you is that the Ally's battery is about what you'd expect from a device like this. It'll last 45 minutes to an hour, maybe 2 hours, depending on the title and depending on what settings you have enabled. Remember those cool AMD solutions I told you about, the super resolution and the sharpening? Yeah, those help a lot, but we'll cover that more in a future video, so stay tuned. And, well, that's 10 things you need to know about the ROG Ally. I'm sure there's a few others, but those are the ones I felt most important after a week of using it pretty much nonstop. If you have an Ally and have a few tips for anyone, feel free to drop them in the comments below, because believe me, any advice to getting better performance or better battery life on a device like this can make a world of difference in your overall experience with it. But that's going to be it for me. Again, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, and as always, make sure to subscribe to see more content like this, especially on the Ally. In the meantime, make sure to follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok to stay up to date and get some slick behind the scenes looks at projects I'm working on, because who doesn't want that? Not to mention, I also plan to put cut down versions of my videos on those platforms as well, so if you're in a rush but need to know what's new with the Ally, you'll have it. All right, guys, I'll catch you very soon in the next one. Peace.